Holy cow, that was amazing. So probably by now, most of you have already seen this video of the Falcon Heavy in their test flight. It's amazing. To see the two boosters land back on Earth at the same exact time and watch them come down, incredible. It's so cool. It's so encouraging to see something amazing happen in space technology. But the one thing that kind of irks me a little bit is the fact that people keep saying that the Tesla Roadster on top is the first and only vehicle in space, the first time a car has been in space. I think we're forgetting something here. So although the two boosters landing is really cool and the Tesla on top is pretty amazing, I want to take a look at the first ever vehicles in space, the actual first, 40 something years ago. So let's take a look at that today on Space Course. So we obviously could be talking about a lot of things when it comes to vehicles in space, rovers and things like that, but today I want to specifically talk about cars in space. 4 wheels, a motor, and a driver. That's already happened. It's already been done. It's not the first time it's happened. So today we're going to take a look at the Apollo missions, Apollo 15, 16, and 17, and their lunar rovers. So the first vehicle in space was the Boeing-built 4-wheel rover deployed on Apollo 15 in July in 1971. It was used for 3 separate lunar excursions totaling 16.5 miles. Its average speed came in at a staggering 6 miles per hour. After astronauts David Scott and James Irwin landed on the moon, they spent 45 minutes unstowing the LRV and unloading its 3-section aluminum ladder frame. The LRV was powered by 4 quarter-horsepower electric motors, one on each wheel, all-wheel drive. Take that, Elon Musk. Although I think the Roadster's probably all-wheel drive. On the third rover trip, Scott parked the vehicle on a little bit of a slope, and when he got out, it actually started rolling backwards. Thank you to the lunar gravity, he was actually able to jump back in and stop it from rolling away. So for Apollo 16, they figured that the Apollo 15 rover was pretty awesome. It was pretty solid. It worked pretty well. A few minor tweaks here and there for steering and things like that, but pretty much it was the exact same thing. So in April 1972, Apollo 16 landed on the moon, and astronauts John Young and Charles Duke drove their rover on 3 separate journeys, just like Apollo 15. Like the previous mission, the distances and speeds were about the same, totaling 16 miles and an average speed of 5 miles per hour. The first drive in the rover was a loop to Flag Crater and then Spook Crater, where Young and Duke picked up 44 pounds of moon rock. The last trip to North Bay Crater was where the famous photos of House Rock, "Look at the size of that rock," Duke said at the time, and Shadow Rock were taken. During these trips, the crew picked up more than 200 pounds of moon rocks to take home. So in December of 1972, Apollo 17 launched with their rover intact, and once they set it up, they found one slight problem. While Gene Cernan and Harry Schmitt were walking past the rover, the hammer pocket of his suit caught one of the front fenders and tore it right off. Without fenders to cover the wheels, the rover kicked up so much dust that they couldn't see. The fix, of course, was duct tape. But only after the astronauts took the broken part into the lunar rover, too much dust outside kept the tape from sticking. Schmitt and Cernan also claimed the fastest speeds in their rover. Coming down a steep hill, their vehicle reportedly hit a breakneck speed of about 10 miles per hour. The rovers were equipped with a gyroscopic readout and even an odometer, both of which would come in handy. The longest journey the pair drove in the LRV was 12 miles, and the total distance in the rover during the mission was about 21.5 miles. The adventuresome pair drove the rover 4.5 miles past the safety distance. So although the SpaceX and the Falcon Heavy is a great accomplishment, the 2 boosters landing simultaneously is amazing. The 3rd booster missing a little bit is still pretty cool if it actually works in the future. But we got to remember that NASA's had the capability to send vehicles in space for 40-something years. Almost 50 years this has been possible, and they've been doing it. So if you're into all these Apollo missions and their cool rovers and the fact that we sent vehicles to space almost 50 years ago, I recommend checking out Ben and his website, apollo17.org. The dude has accumulated basically every single piece of data you can find on Apollo 17, video, mission control logs, pictures, everything from launch to lunar excursions to landing, everything. And he's put it on one website where you can go from the entire timeline. You can watch it live as it happens. You can pick and choose where you want to watch. It's incredible. I highly recommend checking that out. Check out his website, apollo17.org, and let me know what you think of that. It's pretty cool. So that'll do it for today's episode, guys. If you like this, then please click the like button. If you want to see more of this, click subscribe and you'll see future episodes. Again, thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. If you're interested in helping Production Valley and all that kind of stuff, support us on Patreon if you're thinking about it. And again, just thank you so much for support, for sharing everywhere. It's really, really appreciated, and I appreciate everything you guys do. So thanks again. We'll see you next time on Space Course.